however, Boeing in crisis. The Justice and Transportation Departments now probing the Boeing 737 MAX jets. This is according to reports in the Wall Street Journal. A grand jury reportedly issuing a subpoena to at least one person involved in the 737 MAX's development. The fatal Ethiopian Airlines crash comes less than 6 months after the same type of aircraft from Boeing crashed in Indonesia. And the similarities between the two incidents keep growing. Boeing could get hit with even greater legal trouble this time around after failing to resolve defects following the first crash in October. Joining us now, Fox News senior judicial analyst. We said senior twice. Andrew Napolitano.
Very
just
senior.
call him the
No
judge.
comment.
You're senior squared this
Good morning.
Judge, it was a really, I think, this incredible story in the Wall Street Journal about this grand jury in Washington issuing a broad subpoena dated March 11th. I think that is just one day after the Ethiopian Airlines crash, and looking into this incident with the prosecutor on board from the fraud section of the Justice Department.
Well, remember, the Justice Department can't just investigate something because a tragedy has happened. There has to be a threshold met, and that threshold is what we call articulable suspicion. Prosecutors need to be able to articulate a theory of some potential criminal event. They may not know exactly what it is, but in order to invoke the authority of the grand jury, which I'll tell you about in a second, they have to be able to articulate that. It can't be literally a witch hunt. Oh, there was a crash, therefore there must have been a crime. There has to be something there. I suggest to you that it might be what you mentioned in your intro, which was proceeding in the face of a known danger without correcting something that caused a crash the last time. Is that, I hate to use this phrase with respect to Boeing, is that criminally negligent homicide? Is that refusing to do your duty on such a scale that hundreds of innocent people died? Now, grand juries are necessary in order to issue subpoenas. We're not talking about search warrants. We're not talking about breaking down doors and grabbing evidence before it disappears like the FBI did in New York City to Michael Cohen. We're talking about a subpoena from a grand jury, which would go to Boeing's general counsel saying, basically, you have 30 days to get this information to us. We're not going to tell you what we're looking for, but these are the documents that we want.
Correspondence, emails, and other messages. But we should point out it's highly unusual, and the Journal pinpoints this, for federal prosecutors to investigate details of regulatory approval of commercial aircraft designs in a criminal sense.
Remember,
to use a criminal probe to look into these dealings.
I could not agree with that more. The fact that they're using a criminal probe must mean they're able to articulate something that Boeing was supposed to do that it didn't do, or something that Boeing hid from the regulators at the time this particular aircraft was approved. Now, hiding from regulators is a crime. You know, we all criticize Jim Comey, but one of the correct things he said was, we don't do events, we do criminal investigations. That's what the FBI does.
My question's actually on pull Lee into this, just from a messaging perspective. How do they get ahead of this, right? Because now the word, you have a grand jury, so the word criminal is out there in the mix.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they're already way behind the 8 ball. And this is something I want to talk to you about, Judge, because it seems like all the time companies in crisis say nothing, or they don't say enough because they're more concerned about the legal risk than they are about the risk of what it means to say something. So everything they say, they know they're going to be, could be held against them later. Except meanwhile, we're left to think they're doing nothing. Anything that's ambiguous is being interpreted negatively. We're all throwing these terms around there doing nothing.
Don't they have, it's a huge corporation, don't they have a sophisticated PR department like most major corporations do?
They should, but in these moments of crisis, there's almost like a war room where everybody huddles and says, what can we say? So the PR team might draft something and the lawyers say, you can't say that, because if you say that, that could be saying that you're admitting guilt. That could be saying this could be interpreted this way or that way. So by the time you get something out, it's almost watered down so much that it's meaningless. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
That's a very, very interesting observation. But to Dagan's point, it is almost unheard of to commence a criminal investigation within 24 hours of an airline within 24 hours of a crash.
Right, and I just want to add that there additionally, there is scrutiny of the FAA by the Department of Transportation's Inspector General to ensure that the relevant documents are maintained and retained in terms of any investigation going on at the FAA. Go ahead.
Are the burden of proofs different for something as tortious as opposed to criminal? And would that be in play here at all?
Well, you know, criminal case, you have to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty. In a personal injury case, you just have to show preponderance of the evidence, about 51%, that it is more likely than not that Boeing's negligence caused the crash. I don't think Boeing...
But we need to be careful not to get out over our skis here.
Well, that's true. And I don't think Boeing is concerned about civil liability for the deaths of the people, as horrific as it is. That's all capped and all limited and all regulated by the Warsaw Convention. They're worried about market share. They're worried about the value of their equity. And now they're worried about whether somebody might go to jail. Now, again, and I can't use that phrase if I get over our skis, but I know exactly what you mean. I can't say it as effectively as you did, Dagan. This is the beginning, the earliest stages of an investigation, and it may go nowhere. You know, lots of times evidence is presented to grand juries. There is no indictment whatsoever. Guess what becomes of that evidence? It is locked up and never revealed. That's one of the things prosecutors cannot reveal, is evidence presented to a grand jury that chooses not to indict.